Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, enjoying yourselves on this nice, wonderful Saturday. Marhaban, welcome, guys. Okay, my lights in the background. Have you seen these lights? Check this out. Look at that. You like those lights here? All right, so welcome, guys. Ahlan wa sahlan to the live stream. This is Roots of Knowledge, where on Fridays and Saturdays we have a live stream where you guys can ask questions, inshallah, and then I try to answer your questions as well. So welcome, everybody. Marhaban. Okay, let's check out. Let's just go to Instagram. Let's see if we can we play it here? Okay, might be able to go on for Instagram for a little while. Give me a second, guys. Okay, hopefully it should work. Right, so welcome, guys. Ahla wa sahlan Zara, ahla wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam, AQM wa alaikum assalam. If there is limited time before Jum'ah, should you prioritize the sunnahs of Dhuhr or Tahiyyatul Masjid? So if there's limited time before Jum'ah, yes, sunnah. Yeah, the sunnah, if you do the sunnah, it'll be counted as Tahiyyatul Masjid. Okay, so can you see that? Over there, those are the lights in the background. Flashy lights. I'm actually trying to get the lights to read rock. So hopefully, inshallah, I'm gonna get some of those sticky things that you can put onto the wall, inshallah. Muhammad wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you make wudu with tea? No. According to Hanafis, you have to make wudu with what is considered to be water. Abu Bakr wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Adil wa alaikum assalam. My brother Adil, I can't remember exactly, but I remember you coming on a few times. All right, so let's check out Curious Cat. Let's answer some Curious Cat questions because you guys have probably got some Curious Cat questions lined up for me. Ahlan wa sahlan, XB, you like the hair? Yeah, this is just some my rough hair. It's got so much dandruff inside of it. Got lots of dandruff stuck in my hair. Jazakumullah khair. Long time, my brother Adil. Aikem, you're welcome. Alaikum assalam, Aikem. Right, so let's check out. You got quite a few questions lined up for me on Curious Cat. Let's see what you guys are saying over there. Okay, let's go back. Okay, are we allowed to fast on Eid day if others in our local area are celebrating Eid, but we are not, as we think it's different? Yes. Is it better to read 3 witr after tahajjud qiyam, or best to read it with Isha if you worry you won't wake up with Isha? Yeah. Okay, say someone wishes to purchase an item on credit from a company and this company offers a deferred interest payment method with a time period of 12 months during which they will not be charged any interest, but should they exceed the time period, they will be charged interest. Last time we spoke, I had said that the mere stipulation of interest renders it haram, but I did not provide any proof for my claim. I merely wanted to be certain before I give my friend an answer. Is there any? It's allowed. Is it haram if I have an online Shopify store and I post products from AliExpress onto my website and market it on TikTok, and once I get a sale, people can pay with cash and delivery, so the money will come out of my pocket first to order the product and then send it to them for a higher price. Is that haram or halal? Okay, so long as they are happy to pay what you had agreed on, then it's fine. Okay. What to do if I really struggling to pray Fajr? Try to get someone else to wake you up. Set alarm. Go to sleep early. These are kind of general things that normally kind of people can do. Okay. Okay, so a few more questions. Let's go to this side. I know a few good electricians for the lights if you need numbers. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair, my brother. I've got loads of, basically half my family's electricians. How's Jim Akhi? Oh, is this Adil Salman? Is Adil Salman from Wolves? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? It's been a while. Ahlan wa sahlan. Yes, very long time, brother. Hope you're well. Is it allowed to install an app on your TV where you can watch all channels for free? This app is not exactly legal, but what would be the fiqh perspective? I don't know, I don't know, because it all depends upon what kind of agreement, if you come into an agreement with someone, or if there's these kind of things. So generally, I would say these, for a practicing person, they should avoid these kind of things. Someone who's practicing Muslim, they should avoid. But I haven't looked into it. This stream is Burgundy approved. Wa alaikum assalam. Trust you're well. Please don't. Okay, I think good name is going to be a good name. I have to get rid of a good name. I apologize, my brother. Your questions are irrelevant. I'm going to have to block you. Okay, wa alaikum assalam. Bridge to eternity. Trust you're well. Alhamdulillah. Please don't mind, but I prefer Abdul Halim translation over Mufti Taqi, much easier. Of course, you're free to choose whichever one you want, my brother. Zishan, wa alaikum assalam. Do you have any tips or advice, because I struggle with memorizing surf charts? What I would suggest is, if you haven't gone over something more than 50 times, don't expect to memorize it. You have to literally just sit there and just read it again, count it with your fingers or with some tasbih or something. You have to literally go over it 50 times. Our teachers used to say 100 times. Yeah, sit there and just 100 times go over it. Will learning Quranic Arabic help you understand modern Arabic, or would you say this would require more? It would require further development, further exposure to modern Arabic, yeah, definitely. Do you watch Sheikh Uthman Farooq? No, I don't. I shattered my... Ya Allah. Okay. Is the letter Ra pronounced differently when reciting the Quran and colloquial Arabic spoken by? Yes. Yeah. So there's different variations. So generally in Quran Tajweed, the Ra, there's two main forms of Ra that's pronounced. Ra with the full mouth, and Ra when you open your mouth. Small, we call it a small mouth. But other Arabs may have various dialects, modern Arabs especially. Yeah, various dialects there could be. Tanweer, wa alaikum assalam. If I am in the masjid as a musafir, should I pray Asr shortened separately or join the Jamaat? So if the Jamaat is there, it's more preferred to join the Jamaat if you can. Amjad Ilahi, my brother, mashallah, we meet again. We meet again, my bro. I hope you're well. I hope you have recovered from Rios. Ustad, are you still making surf videos? I was really enjoying your playlist. I have not made any more so far, but I do plan in the future on completing it. Wa alaikum assalam, Yamna. What does it mean not to mourn a death for more than 3 days? So what it means is you officially do not have like a gathering, an official big gathering where you don't go to work and all the family gets together for more than 3 days. After 3 days, if anyone wants to come to visit, that's okay, no problem. But it's just having like an official sitting should only be done for 3 official days. And then after that, if anyone just wants to pop down or something, and maybe like 2 or 3 months later, someone hasn't seen you and they want to come down to, that's okay. What does hadith mean? The strong believer is better than a weak one. Does it mean sunnah, healthy? So the scholars differ on this meaning. So some say that it means physically strong, and some say it means strong as in the sense that mentally strong and mentally strong in other ways. Generally, it's taken as being physically strong. So therefore, taking care of your health. And TMZ, wa alaikum assalam, Mufti, do you recommend memorizing 2 mutun together in different subjects? I don't know, I don't know. I have never memorized 2 together. I only used to memorize 1 at a time. But if for some people, if that works, then go for it. Is it permissible to study our dreams to derive meaning from them? Yes, of course you can. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair, my brother Ryan, for your kind gift. May Allah bless you. Ameen. Jazakallah for your beautiful dua as well. Thank you guys. It means a lot to me when you guys support my channel and show kindness towards and the love that you guys show. May Allah bless you. And Ryan, mashallah, is a very nice gentleman. May Allah bless you and your family and your work and your business. Please tell us a jinn story. Brother Sheikh, the translation is by a highly recognized Egyptian Cairo professor, not Sheikh. Please read yourself and see, no joke, only recommend. Ustad, why are there multiple creeds in Islam, one written by Imam al-Tahawi, Shaykh al-Islam, Imam Sanusi? Are they all effectively the same? Yes, they're effectively the same thing. Yeah, but it's just like, for example, like, all houses are the same, pretty much. But it's just that someone might build it in a certain style, another style. So you get that scholars in fiqh, they want to write a particular book, and then someone might want to write it in a slightly different style, but the same content, but it's just trying to write it in a way that's probably they believe is more digestible to the audience. Hamim alaikum salam. If a man says about his wife, "This is my daughter," and she is older than him, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, talaq won't occur because nikah between dad and daughter can't occur in the first place. Would the same apply if the man said, "She is my mother," different to "she is"? Yeah, the same thing would apply. Could you talk to us about magic or black magic in general? If you have a particular question about it, I can answer that. But talking about it, I actually did in the past. I did a whole tafsir on وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ, and I think it was about 5 or 6 hour, maybe 4 or 5 hour course, 4 or 5 hour dars it was. So I can't really talk in 2 minutes about it. If you have a specific question, then inshallah I can try to answer that. Kashif, if someone recited a surah in the 3rd rakat of a fard, salah after surah Fatiha, is it sahwi? I say no. Ustad, is it wrong to talk about dreams we have, whether they be nightmares or otherwise? No, it's not wrong. But some hadith mention it's best to avoid telling bad dreams to people because they might assume bad things about you. So you might tell someone a dream and you think it's bad, and then they think something bad about you. Like just comes to their mind. In death, can one request not to have an akri deeder? Akri deeder, I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. An akri deeder, I've never come across that word before. Akri deeder. I'm not sure. Have you spelled it right? Akri deeder. Is glycerol halal? Glycerol, yes, halal. How can we reconcile between the hadith about keeping our plans secret to avoid envy from others and the ayah in Surah Duha about proclaiming the blessings of Allah. Should we keep? So you have to look at different situations here. So in certain situations, you should do it in a way that motivates people. If you're going to show your blessings to motivate other people, then that's very good. Like, for example, you want to show people that, for example, you are giving charity to people, supporting them, then that's a very good thing. Or you want to show people that you're, fostering or adopting children. That's a good thing because you want to motivate them. So you look at the context situation. Yeah. Why don't you do da'wah to non-Muslim believers such as Christians and atheists like Ali Da'wah does? I'm not good at it. That's the only problem. Not everyone is good at giving da'wah. I am probably not very good at giving da'wah. It's a skill, it's a talent. Some people are good at it. Some people are not good at it. I feel I'm good at teaching. That's what I feel the best at. Teaching topic subjects. But giving da'wah is a skill you have to gain to be able to engage with people and speak. Yeah, so do you get a reward? Of course, definitely if they accept Islam. Why does Imam Tahawi allow learning about black magic? Tahtawi. Most likely it's in order if it's only to combat it. If it's only done by someone to combat, like for example, someone learns about poisons. Only reason they learn about poisons is to learn how to combat it, right? So that stop it. Imam Ghazali also mentions that as well. Yes, I'm not too sure what you meant by that word there. Do you know any sites which show if certain foods are haram or halal? I don't know. Is prawn halal? There's a difference of opinion among scholars. Hanafis generally say that it's not permissible to eat, but other madhabs allow it. Does Multaq al-Abkhur gather all the masail of the four mutun or select masail? Yeah, or generally the masail of the four mutun. Is white wine vinegar halal? Yes. Sheikh, why is your hair so nice today, mashallah? My hair is always nice, guys. I think it's because it's got some extra dandruff in the hair today. You guys can't see in the camera, but all that dandruff is just itching. Loads of itching taking place. Actually, mashallah, today I've done my almost 14,000 steps today. Yeah, so, as you can see, let me tell you guys, start 10,000 steps a day. You will see how it's going to help you, honestly. No joke. I've been doing it for about just over a month, maybe a month and a half. But do it every single day, 10,000 steps without failure, and you'll see how much benefit you're going to get. Really beneficial, inshallah. Zara, where people see the body after ghusl has been done before burial. Yeah, you don't have to tell people to do that. That's not necessary. That's not part of the procedure of the Islamic procedure. But if they want to see it for close family members, then possibly, yeah. MashaAllah, Ustad, I agree. Play to your strengths, and I can say firsthand your teaching from your videos are very good. Jazakallah khair, Ama. May Allah bless you. I have heard that Nul Idah says that doubts in Salat are not always ignored whilst in matters of purification. It depends exactly what he means by that. Salam, ahlan wa sahlan. Mufti, sorry to keep asking, but there's a lot of opinions on this and I'm confused. It's totally okay for me to pray my Isha at Haraj time? Or 10:30-ish and still follow Nisful Layl Fajr? Yes, you can. Is it better to study each of the four mutun individually or multaq al-abkhur, all separately? Yeah, separately. Because the wording of each mutun has not been preserved. That's the thing. So you want to study the mutun because you want to know what the exact wording they used. But the gist of all the four mutuns can be found in later books. Many of the later books have tried to combine all the mutun in their works. What does an amil do in the context of jinn? Amil is like what a doctor is to an ill patient. So what does a doctor do to an ill patient? Identifies the illness and tries to treat it. Aisha, Fazal, and anyone who wants to, in Birmingham, anyone who wants to get checked out, then there's a Shaji is in Birmingham the past few days. Yeah, you can get in contact with him, and inshallah, if you've got any problems, jinn problems. Inshallah, hopefully you can try to help you. Aisha Fazl alaykum assalam. What's the meaning of bishahawat from a hadith? Hellfire is surrounded by lusts. So what that basically means is that when the hellfire it's metaphorical. Yeah, so it's like a figurative form of speech. That the hellfire is covered in desires, in the sense that when a person commits desires, they get closer to hell. That's the idea. Yeah, like for example, if I say, heart attacks are covered with cholesterol. Heart attacks are covered with eating fatty foods. Yeah. So in other words, by doing that thing, you're going to get closer to heart attacks. We have to stay alive to see the benefits. I'd be dead before the end of the day. Yeah. Are steroids halal in bodybuilding to get big? Ask your doctor. If your doctor says that it's okay for you, then you can take them. If he says no, then you're not allowed to take them. It's because I saw some of these hold that 12 and 13 degrees is Shafaq Ahmar, like Sheikh Nuruddin Rashid, according to that opinion, Ishad. Yeah, so what I would suggest is, look, you follow the opinion you feel more comfortable with. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen? You're just going to be like confused all the time. You're just going to be, who do I follow? This guy says, this guy says. So the scholars generally say this: whoever your heart is inclined towards, you follow them. Whichever one you feel is the better opinion, stronger opinion, follow them, inshallah. So I've told you my opinion. If you want to follow other scholars, then that's totally up to you. Wa alaikum assalam, Hamza, ahlan wa sahlan. So would it be wrong to ignore all doubts in salat even if you are meant to do something? So if you suffer from, that's what I said to you, all depends exactly what it is, isn't it? What kind of doubts it is, different types. If it's a person with waswasa. So if a person that has waswasa regularly has doubts, then that person should ignore them. Ignore all those doubts. Starting Al-Fiqh Usul book in Hanafi, should I do Usul al-Shashi Mabadi al-Usul? You should do my Usul al-Fiqh course, 28 lessons of Usul al-Fiqh on my uruk.com. Ustad, is the witr prayer compulsory? According to Abu Hanifa, yes. For a while I was distant from the deen, then I began praying 5 times a day, but after Isha one day someone said to me, it's incomplete without witr. Yeah, so from now on, make sure you pray the witrs. If you missed them in the past, okay, you don't have to do qada, but from now on, make them. Is soya sauce halal? Yes, as long as it has no haram ingredients in there. Is Quduris Tajreed considered a book on comparative fiqh? Yes. Comparative fiqh between Imam Abu Hanifa, or Hanafis, and Shafi. It's a very good book. It's a very detailed. I would definitely encourage students who especially are studying Hidayah and after Hidayah to read that book. Do you think calculations are okay for prayer times, or should we just do mushahada because the Prophet said we are an unlettered ummah? Calculations for prayer times. Yeah, so prayer times we do mushahada. All the calculations are based upon mushahada. So people have done mushahada in the past, and then based on those, they just preserve those. All the difference between moon sighting and prayer times is fixed. Prayer times don't change, in the sense that whatever the prayer time is today is going to be that prayer time tomorrow. Yeah, that's basically what we call like it's fixed. And moon sighting, on the other hand, you can't predict. You can't accurately predict. So that's why the Prophet also mentioned about the salat times, the shadows, and the skies, or like colors in the sky, whereas the moon is actually the visibility of the moon, crescent. In Usul Hadith, the same across the 4 madhabs, or are there differences? The differences. Assalamu alaikum. I was praying Asr. I was on the last rakat and I did not know whether I was in the last rakat or third rakat, and I couldn't decide. So I said the tahiyyat, stood up and started to recite Fatiha for the possible fourth. But I quickly realized that I already had done the fourth, and I went back down and said tahiyyat and said that's how. Your salah is fine. If you're bleeding, then after like 10 minutes you check to see any blood and found no blood, would you make wudu, pray, and then check after for blood, or would you assume it has stopped? Assume it has stopped. If some part of your leg hurts a bit and it continues to hurt a little bit for a couple of minutes, but you do not remember hitting it or anything, or as to why it would be bleeding, do you need to check for blood? No. Ustad, you mentioned that according to Abu Hanifa, witr prayer is compulsory. Does this imply other Hanafi scholars said otherwise? Yes. His two students said that it's considered to be Sunnah Mu'akkada. Yesterday you said that Hanafis aren't focused on Hadith. What makes it a good madhab otherwise? Can you elaborate on our usul? So what I would suggest is try to watch the Evolution of Fiqh series. Yeah. The thing is, the Hanafis' approach is basically the closest approach to the Sahaba. So they looked at what the Sahaba did, and they looked at the Quran. And then a Hadith, when it comes to Hadith, they use the Hadith depending on how it's reached them. That's what they do. So, I mean, in like 2 minutes, trying to explain is going to be a bit hard for me, because it requires understanding the whole concept of what it means, what fiqh means, and how did the early generation practice fiqh? How did Sahaba practice fiqh? What was their understanding? If there's an average Sahabi who's living his whole life and he dies, what was his fiqh? What did he follow? So that's why the Hanafi's position is to follow the early Sahaba. It's generally what the Sahaba and the early Tabi'in used to do. So that's why this is what we Hanafis believe, that the fiqh of the Hanafis is considered to be a more practical fiqh, a fiqh that was practiced. Is Quduri enough for someone to be alim and not study al-Hidayah? No, not to be an alim. But to understand Hanafi fiqh to a reasonable level, yes. What's your favorite takeaway? My favorite takeaway, anyone that's nice. How's your book going? Which book? Was that, please could you explain what arrogance is? Arrogance is when you feel that you're better than other people and other people are lower than you. Is Mu'adh Chati a reliable person? Taking knowledge from Mufti Mu'adh Chati, mashallah, is a very nice person. From what I've learned from him, what I benefit from him, he's very reliable. If Abu Hanifa says something and Abu Yusuf says something else, what do you follow? You need to study iftah for that. It's not a straightaway answer. It requires understanding the whole concept of the usul. And okay, Zed Nisa, Assalamu alaikum. When someone passes away, do we have to give away any belongings they had left, such as clothes, etc.? No, you don't have to. You can keep them. It belongs to the heirs. So all their clothes and belongings belongs to the heirs. Okay, I'm going to go off Instagram. My battery is about to finish, and I don't really have the charger. The charger cable doesn't reach this. So if you guys want to continue, then come on to either Facebook or YouTube. Yeah, to go and charge this. Yeah, so all the belongings of the deceased, they belong to the heirs after he passes away. Is Lubab considered an authoritative text in the madhab? Not for fatwa. So authoritative in the sense that it's an explanation of Quduri, but it's not considered to be a fatwa book. So you can't quote it in fatwas. He quotes Hidayah, but in certain places takes different positions to Hidayah. How much percentage of your income is permissible? Which percentage of your income is permissible? I don't understand. Have you heard of the new Shara of Hidayah by Tajul Sharia Ibn Kamal Basha? I've seen some advertisements of it, but I haven't read it. Why don't you follow the school of thought of Saudi Arabia, as that is where the Prophet ﷺ lived? Surely Hanbali is the correct one. Location, Saudi would know. So I don't know how much you know about history, Adil, but you see what you see in Saudi today is only there since about 100 years. So the Saudi government has actually taken over Saudi. Before Saudi was there, it wasn't the Hanbali madhab. In fact, Hanbali madhab in history of the whole of Islamic history is probably only ruled as a government for probably just like about 100 or maybe 150 years. That's it. So you're seeing it now, aren't you? Like, for example, Adil, you're in the UK, aren't you? So you're looking at the British government and you think, why doesn't everyone just follow Britain? Britain is just like the most just democracy. But you have to realize, If you haven't traveled the world, if you haven't read history, you won't know about the atrocities that the British government committed. And so just because a government holds a particular madhab, it doesn't mean they're correct. Or we believe that all madhabs to a degree are trying their best to find the answer. Alhamdulillah. In fact, Adil, 60, I would say it's about 60 to 70% of the world for over 1,000 years has been Hanafi. Imagine that, 60 to 70% around the world has been Hanafi. If you have haram money coming into your income, how much of it is allowed for you to only the halal one? The haram was not allowed. So you got to work out how much haram. Please explain what fatwa means. Fatwa simply just means giving an answer. That's all it is. Fatwa means giving an answer. So if someone comes to you and says to you, brother, do I have to read Surah Fatiha in my salat? And you say, yes, that's a fatwa. That's what it is. And then you have like advanced fatwas, which are answering questions that have never happened in the past. Like, how are you going to pray salat on Mars? So whatever answer you give, that's going to be a fatwa. What is your Insta, please? It's Roots of Knowledge. So my Insta is Roots of Knowledge. Start is, it's a bit of a long question, but is about being inside or outside Islam. Is one way to reject a certain aspect of the religion, e.g. Adam alayhi salam being a real person, miracles in general, heaven and hell, but they would affirm the Shahada. Are they still? So look, so what does it mean to be a Muslim? So what it means to be a Muslim is basically you believe what came from Allah and the Prophet ﷺ to be true. That's what you believe. So if I'm a Muslim, I believe whatever has come from Allah and whatever the Prophet ﷺ taught, I believe that's 100% true. Right? That is what it means to be a Muslim. Now, if I take a verse of the Quran and I say, I don't believe this verse is part of the Quran, I've actually rejected part of the message, so now I'm not a Muslim. So if you reject any part of the Quran, any verse of the Quran, you cancel it out, you dismiss it, you can't be a Muslim. Right? That's basically what it means to be in of Islam and out of Islam. So if someone says, I believe that Allah is God and that Messenger ﷺ is the last messenger, but I don't believe that Allah is all powerful. I believe Allah is weak. Then that testimony you gave was not a true testimony. Does that make sense? That's not shahada. So shahada means to believe what the Quran, whatever Allah brought in the Quran, and says about Himself, and says that's what you believe. So that's why you have to believe in Jannah, you have to believe Jahannam, and all that. I've heard that back in the days, Shafis and Hanafis used to challenge each other a lot. Do you have some more insight into that? Not necessarily challenge each other, but there would be like these kind of academic debates, like you have in universities nowadays. You have academic debates between professors. So you would have academic debates between Shafi scholars, Hanafi scholars, maybe even Maliki scholars in some parts of the world. Yeah, of course. Have you heard of the new Shara of Hidayah by Taj al-Sharia? Yeah, you've told me that before. How should one choose a madhab? The country you are in? What I would say, you choose a madhab according to how accessible you are to the madhab. So how accessible are you to it? So for example, let's say you want to follow the Maliki madhab, but you don't have any access to Maliki madhab teachers, or then you don't choose the Maliki madhab. Yeah. Ummal wa alaikum assalam. Pray you are well. Do you think ulama or masjid should play a role in telling people who to vote for? No, not necessarily. Yeah, I don't think ulama should tell people who to vote for, but I think they should make them responsible for who they vote for. They should remind them about the responsibilities. Yeah, so ulama obviously do not have a control over, because if the ulama said you vote for this guy, what that basically means is that the ulama know who's meant to be voted in. So they don't necessarily have to be followed in who to vote for, but everyone should make a right decision of who to vote for. Like, you should look at the person and ask yourself, for the next 4 or 5 years, do I want this guy to represent me? Do I want this guy to hold the future of my iman in this community? Just out of curiosity, Ustad, how would one pray on Mars? I have no idea. No idea at all. Is it rewarding for someone paying student fees for university instead of taking a loan? Yes, staying away from haram is definitely more rewarding. You're welcome, Aisha. Do you have to follow a madhab because you believe it's correct, or can you follow anyone due to them all being valid? you have to follow. So general lay public don't follow a madhab, right? They actually follow a scholar. So in other words, most of you guys are simply just following scholars. You ask a scholar question because you have no idea of how the madhab works. Even if you guys say to me, tell me the Hanafi opinion, you have no idea of why the Hanafi opinion is why it is, right? So therefore, you're simply just following what a scholar tells you. Does that make sense? So madhab is really for the people who are involved in fiqh, students of knowledge, ulama. It's their kind of forte. Let's change the color, the lighting in the back, guys. Let's change this. That's good. Look at that. It's a nice one. If you have hypothetically no access to any teachers for a madhab, would you think the La Madhabiyya route is recommended if one has teachers for this? Then of course, yeah, because generally, like I said to you, the lay people they only follow whatever the scholars say to him. So as long as you believe that scholar is a trustworthy scholar and he knows his stuff, then you follow that. Who are you voting for, Akhi, in general election next week? Is it haram to vote? No, it's allowed to vote. Can I vote for reform? You can vote for whoever you want, my brother. I'm going to vote for anyone but Labour and Conservative. Anyone but Labour and Conservative. Kanda, is horse riding a sunnah? If yes, does that apply to women as well? So when you mean by sunnah, I always ask you this question, Kanda. What do you mean by sunnah? Do you mean rewarding? If it's rewarding, not necessarily. No. Unless you have the intention to strengthen your body and prepare yourself for if a battle was to break out. Otherwise, there's no specific reward attached to it. Have you ever visited Istanbul? Yes. Would you recommend it? Yes. I have been to Turkey a couple of times, but never Istanbul yet. Only thing is, Istanbul, there's a lot of foreigners there, right? So there's a lot of bars there, pubs and things like that. Just stay away from those. So how do Salafis differ from four madhabs? I heard Salafi basically means Aqidah. So Salafis generally do follow Hanbali madhab, but Salafis mean Aqidah. I've heard some say we should follow the Salaf. Are they different to the madhahib? Yeah, so Salaf, whenever you hear the word Salaf, it simply means Salaf in Manhaj Aqidah. So their belief is that they follow a specific type of Aqidah, right? And that's more sort of like an Aqidah which has been influenced by Imam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Ustad, what tea are you drinking? Today I am drinking a tea that I got from Turkey. Yeah, so I don't know what it's called. It's just some leaves. So whenever you go to Turkey, Istanbul, go to the Grand Market, and over there you'll find lots of teas. Why do people say that horse riding is sunnah, as in rewardable, as this, and this is the same for archery? I don't know who says that it's rewardable. I haven't come across scholars who say that it's rewardable. So reward in these kind of things is only if the intention is good. If your intention is that you want to strengthen your body or something like that. What are your thoughts of Wahhabi school? I don't know, my brother. Wallahu alam. You probably know more about Wahhabi because of your affiliation towards Saudi than I do. Okay, let's see. Who came up or brought the view the early Asr time first, Sahibain or Imam Shafi? Sahibain. I'm Hanafi, but my Shafi sister always wants to pray in Jama'ah and for me to lead. Is it okay if I'm Hanafi? Yes. Please make dua for my marriage soon to someone who I really loved and care about, an honest and blessed man who also really respects you. If it is khair that we're brought together soon, well, Ameen. Ameen, guys. Make special dua for this couple. So if a lady's ankle or wrist is exposed in salah due to wearing leggings or a fitted long sleeve, what is it saying? Okay. Just family that say it is rewardable, to be honest. Yeah, no. So I think people don't understand the term when they use the term sunnah. They kind of assume the term sunnah means something. Like, for example, someone says it's sunnah to live in Medina, or it's sunnah to wear a turban on your head, or it's sunnah to drink zamzam, or it's sunnah to walk barefoot, or it's sunnah to take a bath from a bucket. Does that make sense? How much history, politics, geography, etc. should scholars know? They should know enough for them to be able to understand the text. It depends what kind of field they want to go into. If obviously they want to go into political thought and that arena, then they need to know a lot. But generally, I mean, they need to know enough to be able to understand the field that they want to go into. If it's fiqh, then they'll need to know the fiqh and politics, the history regarding the era of the fuqaha and fatwas. And if it's hadith, then they'll clearly need to know the history of the muhadditheen's approach. So are the opinions of Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah valid to follow? Depends which one. Depends who you ask. Where can I meet you in real life? Can you tell me the mosque you live in, please? I don't live in a mosque. As-Sufa, come to As-Sufa Institute. I'm mostly at As-Sufa Institute. It is disliked for women to do horse riding. Is it disliked? No, it's not. I just wanted to thank you, dear Ustad, for your honest work. May Allah reward you. Ameen, Ameen, my brother. Allah bless you. Ya Allah. Right. So last week I tried to make a lamb shoulder in the ground. Right. So it was basically what they call in Pakistan they call it a dum pukht, which is like a pit fire meat where you dig a pit and then you put lots of coal in there, you burn it, and then you put the meat inside foil, put it inside the hot coal, and you fold it up, and then you put the ground over it. So unfortunately, mine didn't come out as I expected. Yeah, so I learned my mistakes. So next time, inshallah, maybe tomorrow I'll try again. Next time I'll try to make it again. And this time what I'll do is use much more coal, hopefully, inshallah. So that's what you learn, guys. Because now, barbecuing, I've kind of, alhamdulillah, learned how to barbecue different types of meat. So now I'm going to move on to the next. I want to try to learn how to do spitfire, underground cooking, and what else is left? So my apologies, but I'm struggling to understand. If I were to study the creed of Imam Tahawi, would I learn anything different if I were to study the creed of Shaykh al-Islam, Ibn Taymiyyah? Possibly, yeah. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, look, first of all, you have to, there's not like one or 2 points. It's a manhaj, it's like a methodology. You have to understand methodology. So, for example, it's like saying, if I was to learn the tafsir of Imam Qurtubi and I was to learn the tafsir of Imam Zamakhshari, would there be a difference? Of course there would, because their approaches are different. Qurtubi was a Maliki and he was Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and Zamakhshari was from the Mu'tazila. So the manhaj is different. So what you have to understand is a text could be the same, studied by different people. But let's say, for example, a Mu'tazili was to teach the Quran. The text is the same, but he's going to teach it in a way in certain places, in a way according to his methodology. Does that make sense? So it's like, for example, the concept of justice taught by the West, versus the concept of justice taught by China, versus the concept of justice taught by Islam, right? There's going to be a different approach in methodology. If you practice horse riding and archery because Rasul Sallallahu did it and you are doing them to try to be just like him, are they reward? Inshallah, that's a good intention. And that is a very good intention. You get the reward of trying to imitate him. Just like if you try to walk like the Prophet Sallallahu and with the intention, I want to walk like him, or you want to sleep like him, you get reward for that. Shumil Any point studying classical fiqh books? Of course. Loads of benefit. Why not just learn from most recent ones? So see, the problem is fiqh books, what you have to understand is classical fiqh books, the texts themselves are a preservation of, like, it's like, for example, the juice of all the effort that came before them. So if you can figure out that text, if you can unlock that text, you can understand what they were talking about. So each text, each sentence is filled with usul and principles. Does that make sense? So if, for example, like, let's say, for instance, with the early scholars, they say something like, what do they say? They say that, you know, the wiping of the head, a quarter of the head is wiped in wudu. For example, the Hanafi say a quarter of the head is wiped in wudu. So why did they mention the quarter of the head wiped in wudu? What was this whole discussion taking place that they had to come out with this quarter of a head? So that's what you're trying to unlock. You say, okay, the whole concept of a quarter is because we don't have anything from the Prophet ﷺ of the minimum amount of head to be wiped. We have a verse of the Quran that says wipe your heads, but we don't know how much is the minimum. Like, we don't know if I was to just touch my head, would my wiping be done, or do I have to touch half of it, or do I have to wipe most of it? So this is a discussion that the fuqaha have, that how do you identify minimums and maximums in Quran ayats and hadith? How do you identify them? How much is a minimum? If 10 people were to wipe their heads, which one of them has officially wiped their head and which one hasn't? So the early scholars preserve this in their writing. Now, if the later scholars, if they don't repeat what the early scholars have said in their words, then you're going to lose that meaning. It's like, for example, imagine someone says a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, but in their own words. They don't say the exact words of the Prophet ﷺ. You're going to lose all that richness of the Prophet ﷺ's words. Does that make sense? Can you make good food, Ustad? Inshallah. Dalil for cooking recipes playlist. Inshallah. One day, inshallah. Are tattoos halal, akhi? No. You can't have tattoos. Can I have Ribena at Shafi's house? MashaAllah. Acha, you're from my year 2, yeah? Alright. These are my year 2s. So those of you guys who study with me, fiqh, you guys know the special discussions that we have. John, wa alaikum assalam. Any tips for time management so we have time for ibadah? So time management, what I would suggest for time management is, it differs from person to person. Different people will have different techniques of managing their time. The first thing you need to remember about time, there's two main things you have to remember about time management. Number one is you need to get rid of all the toxic time wasting things that you do. You have to identify everything that you do in the day, like make a list of everything you've done today, everything. And then you look at which ones wasted your time and then highlight them. So that you know in the future, these are the things I need to cut down on. And number two is, in the day, you need to prioritize the most important things in your day, divide them up into 3 types. The most important thing that you cannot miss out. For example, like eating dinner. You can't miss out eating dinner. You can't miss out your salat. Right? And then you have stage 2, which is those things are important, but it's possible to miss them now and again. And the third one is that they're important, but they're kind of like, if you were to miss them out for a few days, it wouldn't be that bad. And that's how you have to be very sort of like particular about that, and then you stick to that, inshallah. Yeah, so that's what I would say would be the sort of the way to identify in your day the things you have to do. Right. I think I answered all your questions, guys. How much do you know about Sheikh Albani? Not much. His father was a Hanafi scholar and he was Hanafi. Do you know about him or his father? No. I don't know much about him. Ya Allah, hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Alright, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day then. So, jazakumullah khair, guys, for tuning in. What do you guys think of my lights? You like the lights? How they work, yeah? You enjoy this light show? I don't know. It has this button here called the music button. I don't know what that's for. I think it's supposed to be like if you got some music on, you can put this in the background. It's supposed to do some fancy things. So that's called the music button, guys. Yeah, Allah hasbunallah. Yeah, and so this week, guys, make sure you check out all the videos that I've uploaded this week. Right, so there's going to be things in there you guys might enjoy, inshallah. Some of the things you're going to like. So check them out. Hopefully, you'll be able to benefit as well. And I also put Fawzul Kabir. Yeah, Fawzul Kabir, mashallah. I put up so that you guys can check that out as well, inshallah. I'm going to try to regularly make some more, hopefully. Yeah, you're welcome, my brother Amar. You're welcome. Bit of a different background. What inspired it? TikTok. So on TikTok, I saw someone on the market page, they were selling these lights. So I've always been trying to look for neon lights. I want neon lights to make the rock in the background. So at the top over here, so you're gonna have like ROK in like neon lights. I always wanted that. Where's it gone off for? Oh, so basically the way this works is you have to speak to it. That's what music means. I see. So what you do, so for example, look at this here. So hopefully, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3, look at that. 1, 2, 3. So apparently it listens to music. You can hear the music in the room, and then based on the music, it will flash according to that. So if you had Quran on, you do the same Quran or Nasheeds, I guess. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Akhi Ayman? I don't know, my brother. Allah knows best. I think you're too much into trying to know about people. What I would suggest, Adil, is go and ask him yourself. Meet him, check him out. And this is my my statement to everyone. If you want to know about anyone, learn about them firsthand. Don't ask other people about them, because otherwise, what happens is, anyone you ask me about him, I'll give you a view, and you ask another person to give you a view. And there's some people I think they're a bit gossipy, and a bit gossipy. They like knowing about everyone. Not you, Adil, of course. Adil, you're a nice guy. But there's some people who just like to know about people. What's your views about this scholar? What's your views about him? And they want to build like a MI5 kind of, MI5 mind. Jazakallah khair. Any good Arabic books for improving comprehension? Just read as much Arabic storybooks as you can. If you are not reading a week, one Arabic storybook, I would say, if you're not finishing one Arabic storybook a week, you're not going to learn Arabic very fast. You have to read a lot of Arabic stories. I think there's still a bit to go before it says rock, but we're getting there, inshallah. Inshallah. You're right. We're going to get there, inshallah. I like the positive, the half cup full mentality. So anyway, guys, hopefully, inshallah, inshallah, I'm going to try to make some, I'm just thinking about this year. I'm trying to make some mantiq videos. I've been teaching mantiq recently to students. Students have asked if I can teach them mantiq so far. So I've been teaching them mantiq. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, inshallah, I've been doing a lot of reading on mantiq this past few weeks. So I'm trying to maybe come out with like a very easy, applicable way of trying to teach mantiq. Right. So a method that's comprehensive and also practical as well. Because a lot of mantiq is just like sometimes you study mantiq and you think, what's the whole point of this? Where am I ever going to need it? So inshallah, mantiq is going to be, it's a very nice subject. Mantiq is all rational, isn't it? It just makes sense. It's just how people think. That's all it's about. It's all about thinking patterns, how things work in the world. So, and it's all about arguments as well, understanding why some arguments are weak arguments and why some arguments are good arguments, strong arguments. Interested in mantiq, yeah? Inshallah. Is it haram to be fat? If it's killing you, then you need to sort it out. So if you're fat and the fat's killing you, then yeah, obviously, if some people don't have a choice, like it's difficult for them because of their body, because of the way that their body simply just gains mass very quickly. So, but if it's something that is definitely harming you, you need to get rid of it. You need to sort it out. All right, guys. So take care, inshallah, and hopefully hit the like button, subscribe button, and have a nice one. Hopefully, I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.